Documents seen by the BBC show the government knew the HS2 rail project was over budget 3 years ago. The documents were written in 2016 before MPs had signed off the first phase of the project, which raises questions over whether Parliament was given the whole picture. The high-speed line will link London, Birmingham, Manchester and Leeds. Our transport correspondent Tom Burridge has been speaking to a former HS2 manager and has this exclusive report.
This is the story of a former manager at HS2, the public company building Britain's high-speed railway, who says he was fired just as he was about to reveal an uncomfortable truth. Andrew Bruce says his task was to work out how much the land and property needed to build the first stretch of the railway between London and Birmingham would cost. It was a crucial part of the project's budget. The figure HS2 was using at the time was £2.8 billion.
I knew that the figure was wrong. I knew it was manifestly wrong.
He knew because thousands of properties and plots of land which had to be bought or compensated had been given very low values. What's more, HS2's estimate of £2.8 billion was based on 5,500 properties, when in reality more than 12,000 would need to be bought or compensated along the route. Andrew Bruce worked out that in reality HS2 would need an extra £2 billion to compulsory purchase all of the land and properties. But he says he was fired half an hour before he was due to present his work to senior figures at HS2 and the Department for Transport.
I was told that my information, my data, the whole of that programme, the whole of that 6 months worth of work was never used again. It was as if I had never existed.
HS2 said it doesn't recognise Andrew Bruce's version of events. It strongly rejects the idea that Mr Bruce was dismissed because of a desire to hide the true cost. Ministers and bosses at HS2 have, until recently, insisted the project was on budget and on schedule. But in this letter, written in 2016 to the then Chancellor George Osborne, the Transport Secretary at the time, Patrick McLaughlin, admits the project was £1 billion over budget. That figure, I'm told, didn't include Andrew Bruce's higher cost estimate for the land and property, and it was all before Phase 1 of HS2 was signed off by Parliament.
I think Parliament was misled. I think we're now having to spend far more public taxpayers' money on HS2 than Parliament thought was going to be required. HS2 knew that. They knew it months, if not years before.
Last year, the National Audit Office found that HS2 wasn't required to submit an improved property cost estimate to Parliament, so it cleared HS2 of any wrongdoing. HS2 said it had also faced extensive scrutiny from parliamentary committees. But with the team appointed by the government to review the scheme set to begin their work tomorrow, it's hard to say how High Speed 2 will evolve in the coming weeks. Tom Burridge, BBC News.
The time is 6:15. Our top story this evening. Opposition parties attempting to block a no-deal